We have two different problems.
What is the problem?
I'm to lose weight, you are to add.
All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to another episode on the Ask Dr. Sunday show. I'm your host, and my name is Anu Ojo. So, our wonderful viewers watching us on Facebook and on YouTube, thank you for joining us today. Please kindly share this video on your timeline. If you're watching us on Facebook, you could click on the share icon. You could share it to the groups you belong to, and you could also suggest this video to your friends by sending it into their inboxes. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you could also share the YouTube link on social media platforms that you belong to. This is Ask Dr. Sunday show, and on this show, Dr. Sunday tries his best to answer every question and any question that is asked of him. If you're watching us for the first time and you're thinking, how can I ask Dr. Sunday my questions? I want you to know that you could send in your questions right now on the comment section. If you're watching us on Facebook and on YouTube, you could type the letter Q and ask your question. So on the comment section, just type letter Q and then type in your question. It is important that you type letter Q because that's the only way we can separate your question from other comments. This applies to both our Facebook viewers and our YouTube viewers. And if you want to be anonymous, you don't want people to know you're the one sending that question, we have another option for you. You could go to Dr. Sunday's blog, which is sundayadelajablog.com/ask. sundayadelajablog.com/ask. You're going to see an interface there where you can send in your questions, and I would be able to gather those questions and ask Dr. Sunday in subsequent episodes. So I'm here with Dr. Sunday, and I would like to introduce him right at this point. All right, so good afternoon, Dr. Sunday.
Good afternoon.
You're welcome to another episode on the Ask Dr. Sunday show.
Yes, but I just wonder, why is it that this is the topic you have? It is not English now. Are you the one who wrote it?
How can I overcome the...
Where is overcome?
Well, I guess that's a mistake right there.
But you are reading what is not available there.
Because I know what I sent.
You sent it?
Yeah.
And it's not written?
Yeah. How can I overcome?
First of all, I think you don't need DSA there. It's already clear enough.
Yeah.
Then you have to write, how can I over, not just over, because what is written here is over.
Okay.
How can I
overcome? It's going to be overcome, actually.
So, because I'm reading it, I thought you were reading something else, and I'm reading something else.
Wow.
So you gave them overcome, and they decided to write over.
I think I gave them the wrong one then, because I had to go confirm what I sent.
Okay, can you confirm, please?
Yeah.
Let's see who owns the guilt.
Yeah. So I sent over. It meant to be overcome. Yeah. So
you just told me you know what you said.
I thought I knew what I said, I guess.
You thought?
Yeah, I didn't confirm. I was meant to confirm that. It's meant to be over.
So the blame is not on them?
No. I accept it. I accept responsibility for it.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's meant to be overcome, actually. Overcome. All right, so
Pamela it in Facebook, YouTube.
Yeah, how can I overcome the guilt and shame of my past experiences? That's what
it talk as this. Okay.
Thanks for notifying that. Okay, so that's from the first question that we have today from our viewers. So it'd be good if we have the PowerPoint presentation on
PowerPoint?
Yeah, PowerPoint presentation.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I think I just copied. I can see where it came from.
Okay.
So because I just
the person himself made a mistake. Eh?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So
what's
hello DSA, I'm a new Christian, believer, but I have such a ugly and terrible past. I have done things that I cannot even share with you now, and they keep haunting me in my mind. So here is why. How can I overcome the feelings of guilt and shame of my past experiences?
Okay. Not a group net, but could that moderate? The way to overcome, well, let me start by saying you will never be able to overcome the guilt of your, the guilt and shame of your past experiences just by being free from them.
What do you mean by that?
Because I think the person is free right now from from that guilt. I mean, from those past experiences. And that is why he's calling them past experiences. So the person is free.
No, why do you think the person is free? Because if the person says past, that might just be a way to qualify the
For
time
example,
period.
if the person was a homosexual, the reason why this person is asking this question is that he's no more practicing the homosexuality. That's just an example.
Okay.
But he's saying, I'm no more practicing. But what I had done in the past, they are still hurting me, the memories of those things.
Yes.
So how can I overcome the memories and the feelings of guilt and shame of those things? So it means the person has been set free.
From the act.
From the act and from the atrocities and from the something.
Yes.
But what I am now saying is that the fact that you have set free from your past experiences and the fact that you are free already from your past sins doesn't mean that you will overcome the guilt and shame of it.
Okay, then you have to explain further.
Because that is the fact from this person something.
From the person's question.
Yes, and other people also assume that. Now that we mentioned vapors, but I shall not record it nanas. So you have to also look at the life of many other Christians who believe that once I come to Christ and I give my life to Christ, I become born again. Jesus has forgiven me my sins. And not just forgiving me, and he has really forgiven. But I'm also free from those sins. I'm no more fornicating. I'm no more, doing what I used to do. But that is not equal to the fact that you are set free from the guilt and shame of it.
Okay. So
You could be set free from the shame of it and the guilt of it, but that doesn't mean that you are totally free from the consequences of that sin that you had been set free from.
all right. So yes, apparently the person is not set free from the guilt, and that's why the person is asking now that how can I overcome it?
Yes.
So what you're saying, if I can understand, is that the fact that you are free from those bad those atrocities and the acts doesn't automatically translate to you being free from the guilt and the shame of those acts.
Yes, our consequences.
Or the
of
consequences. So, but this person perhaps is in that situation now
Yes.
and wants to be free from it.
them. Yes.
So how can the person?
So I just made the first statement, and then you say, "Wow,
Yeah,
why?"
it's good. I want to understand what you're saying. Now I understand.
Okay. So I just started by answering.
Yes.
And so I made the first statement that your sins has been forgiven by God. You have been set free even from that sin.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you are free automatically from the consequences of that sin.
Understandable.
So now, what do you have to do to be free from the consequences, including shame and guilt and other consequences of the sin that you have committed, even though that sin itself has been forgiven, and even though you are no more practicing that sin? What you need to be able to be free, totally free mentally, and especially from guilt and shame, is that you have to fill yourself and your mind with the truth that is superior to where you are coming from. It also means that you have to renew your mind. So the fact that you are saved is not enough. You've got to transform your life. Now, you transform your life to be a different life by the renewing of your mind. So transformation of life doesn't take place at the point of salvation alone. At the point of salvation, transformation of life begins But it doesn't finish there. Real transformation of life actually begins only when you begin to practice and work on, when you begin to practice and work on your mind, and to make sure that your mind is being renewed. So it is the renewal of your mind that brings about transformation of your life. And it is in that process of transformation of your life that you begin to forgive yourself and you begin to forget about the guilt and the shame of the past. So you need to fill your life now with superior knowledge. Knowledge of who you are in Christ, knowledge of who God has made you to be, knowledge of what Christ has done for you, and knowledge of how God sees you today. The reason why you still remain in the shame and the guilt of your practices and your atrocities or your sins is because the knowledge of that sin and the knowledge of those atrocities that you had committed, the knowledge, the presence of that knowledge, the awareness of those things you did, they are still looming large in your mind. They are heavily present in your subconscious mind. So what you will need to do is to renew your conscious mind, is to reprogram your mind by loading new information that are corresponded to God's view of you to your mind and your subconscious, replacing thereby the old looming knowledge of all the evil that you have done, replacing them by the new ones. If you don't bring new ones to replace the old ones, you will really never be free. That's similar to what Jesus said when he said that when an unclean spirit comes out of a man, if that man doesn't fill himself up with new knowledge, with superior knowledge, with new understanding of life, and has a good and new understanding of himself, what will happen is that same spirit will come back, but come back with greater and stronger spirits that will even do much more damage to that person. I don't know if I made myself clear.
Oh yes, you did. You did. I think you hit the nail on the head by saying that is the answer is the renewing of the mind. And renewing the mind, speaking about exchanging or filling your mind with a superior knowledge, a superior truth. So you must exchange that, all of those knowledges and those experiences that you've had, that is creating the sense
memories.
of those memories, creating the sense of guilt and shame, and replacing it with the knowledge of your new position in Christ Jesus, of the forgiveness of sins that you've received, and everything that Christ has done for you. So when you begin to overwhelm your mind with those truths, it's more like you are replacing your mind with a previous knowledge, and then you're bringing in the new knowledge of Christ into your mind, and then you gain your freedom.
Absolutely. Because when you are talking about feeling of guilt and shame, you must then ask yourself, what are the sources of feelings? Where do feelings come from? And if that's the question you ask yourself, then you begin to understand that feeling comes from the entrance of some information to your mind. And that information could enter not just through your ears and not just through your eyes. Those information could enter to your mind through the 5 senses that you have. So all the things, all the experiences you've had, what you have seen, what you have heard, and what you have experienced, those are sources, those are channels of information. And whenever information gets to your mind, it creates feelings. So feelings, therefore, is a consequence, natural consequence of the information that you have loaded yourself with. So if I load myself with information of love, if somebody comes down and begins to touch me and smile to me and tell me I love you and, really show love, overwhelming love towards me, that is the feeling I'm going to have. So those words are going to generate feelings of affection. But if somebody comes and begin to say you are guilty, you are a killer, you are a murderer, you see what you did in the past, you did it, and those things, that's the information that is entering to you. So it's the information that enters into your mind that creates. So feelings are not by accident. You cannot just say, I don't know why I'm feeling like that. It's not true. You cannot just say, I don't know where they're coming from. It's not true. Feeling have a source. And there is explanation to everything. That's why we must not look at life as a mystery. That's why we must always know that life is based on cause and effect. And that life is predictable. So if you are feeling like that, there is a source to it and an explanation to it. If you will learn to change your worldview and your paradigm, if your paradigm of life is that there are no laws to life and there are no meaning to life, there are no explanation to life, then of course you will be miserable. Like this book, this other book, not this one. There is another book I have there. Why am I unlucky? This comes in line. This comes handy with this question. You know, I would really recommend everybody to read this book. Why am I unlucky? Sometimes we don't understand why am I unlucky. Why are people always wondering why they are unlucky and why things are not working out for them? Is because their own worldview and mindset and paradigm is still not based on the fact that life is based on cause and effect. If they know that life is based on fixed laws, then they will be able to explain every single thing that has happened to them. They will be able to know why that feeling of unluckiness has come over them. There is an explanation to it. There is a cause to it. But then that book will explain it better to people like that.
Amazing, amazing. Well, DSA, thank you very much. It's obvious that for every feeling that we have, there is a cost to it.
Yes,
and the cost for every feeling is the information that we receive from either of our sense organs. So if you can replace the information, it means you can evoke a new feeling. So if you want to evoke a feeling of boldness, of confidence, then you must listen to things, you must watch things that would stir up that feeling in you. So thank you, Dr. Sunday, for that.
But invoking a new feeling, though,
yeah, is
different from getting a new result.
Getting a new result?
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by getting a new result? Because new result in what light?
Okay, for example, if I say you are too thin, you are looking too slim, that word will invoke some feelings in you. You don't feel, I think, why? It's not good. You are looking bad. You are looking like you have lost weight. You are not looking good. You know, you need to do something. You know, you are not looking fine. So the fact that I'm saying that is creating some feeling in you.
Yes.
Either you like it or not.
Yeah.
Okay. The fact that I'm invoking, you know, you said you can invoke feelings. Another feeling in yourself, even though you had feeling. Okay, before now, you had a feeling that everything was okay with you. But now, everybody is coming to tell you that you are too lame. So another feeling has come. But that doesn't change what you are dealing with right now.
It doesn't.
It doesn't give you the result.
Yes.
It doesn't give you a new result. That's what I say.
I get that.
Invoking a new feeling doesn't give you a new result. Because that's what people do in church. People go to church to get new feelings. And they think that as long as I've had the message and I begin to feel so, it means I'm already rich. For example, people go to church. Why do people go to all these churches?
Confession.
People go to church, they confess. And the man of God or GO comes and affirmation, declaration, prophetic declaration,
affirmation,
breakthroughs,
yes,
and word of prophecy,
yeah,
and so people feel, if you see the way people shout amen in Nigeria, in Nigerian churches, if you see the vigor, yeah, and the enthusiasm, yeah, and the feelings of and let us pray. Somebody before this year must get your result. You must get the breakthrough. Your miracle will come. Let's pray. Everybody. If you see the gymnastics going on in Nigeria church, But they have, because when they're doing that, they're getting new feelings.
Yeah.
When the pastor is invoking and programming them and telling them words, they're getting new feelings.
Yes.
So people who don't know the principles of life and don't have the right philosophy of life and are having faulty paradigm, they stop at the level of what they are feeling. They said, I know I got it today. I felt it. I could just feel it. The anointing, even goosebumps came. Even, I just knew it came. It was powerful. That prayer was powerful. The service today. I know it has happened. God has done it. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Because they came to church. Because they will even come and tell. I came to church. I was so down. I was feeling so bad. But after the man of God started to pray, after the man of God started to speak, I just came alive and I just knew that something has happened. God has answered my prayer. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
God has done it. Then you are going on the road. You are praying. But the fact that you have experienced a new feeling doesn't mean that you get a new result.
Yes.
So after all those prophetic proclamation of the man of God that you become a millionaire before the end of the month, and you didn't go to do anything to create any goods, you didn't go to create any services, and you didn't go to market them, you didn't go to sign any contract, it is futility. It is exercise in futility. Because even though I said that every feeling we have is as a result of what enters into us, but the process of transformation doesn't end there. After the new information has gotten into you and has created and invoked a new feeling in yourself, feelings are also a trigger to something else. Feelings are a trigger and a pointer to actions. And actions are a trigger to something else too.
What? Sorry.
Actions, so when, for example, let's say I say, you are too lean. Like I started to say. And you got a new feeling. But that doesn't make you to add weight.
Oh, yes.
It points you it triggers you. That feeling is supposed to push you to action. Trigger you to action. So the action you would like to go and do is maybe to go and eat.
Yes.
Or to go and eat more. But the eating more by itself doesn't make you to get the result too.
Eating more will not make me get the result.
Yes.
How?
Even if you go and do sports,
yes,
and do exercise, you will still not get the result.
Why? But if I'm eating more and I'm doing exercise, I will add weight.
Okay, good. So that is the thing that we must all understand, that feelings will trigger action.
But it might not be.
But it is sustained and repeated actions, continuous action that brings result.
Okay.
So even if you felt like you had the word, now you got the feeling, I just know I'm going to eat. You ate 1 or 2 days and you went back to your regime again, you will still not get that result. If you feel that, oh no, I want to add weight, I must add muscles, I need to add, and then you go and do gym one day.
And then you stop.
Even though it created, the feeling created an action. But I will not deny it.
Yeah, but it won't bring the result.
But you still don't have the result. Why?
Because the action is not sustained.
Because action is supposed to also provoke something else. Momentum, continuity. That is why they say that repetition is the
key to mastery.
Yes. Repetition is what now will bring the result.
Yeah. Amazing. That's like a whole chain
It's
reaction.
a chain. Yeah, it's a chain value.
Yeah.
It's a value chain.
Beautiful. So this is how to get results. What you just did is just the
how to get
results.
Yeah, the formula of how to get results.
Wow. So
I think we have to get the book to English. I have it in Russian.
You have it in Russian. All these books that you have in Russia, Pastor.
Another job for you.
Yeah, and I think it's very good from information. So that means every change,
from
every change, any results you are looking
from your
for,
senses, from your 5 senses to information.
From your we're starting from the 5 senses. Okay, so from the 5 senses to information.
Good.
Then from the information, it evokes feelings.
To feelings, yes.
Then from feelings to actions,
yes.
and then from actions to momentum.
Yes. Then from momentum to lifestyle.
To a lifestyle.
And from momentum, you could go to from momentum to character.
Okay.
And from character, the end result is lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. So that when it becomes a lifestyle, then
it's automatic.
Wow, that's a very interesting.
Yeah, maybe we should maybe I should get the book to
English.
To English, yeah.
But this is interesting because this
is. Oh, you're a medical doctor now. They don't teach you this thing for medical school.
Pastor, for medical school.
For which?
No, medical school, you're just learning medicine.
Just physical stuff.
Yeah, but I'm thinking now,
it's
what
logic.
is logic and how to apply it to life. Because as you're speaking to me now, I'm just thinking about changes that people need in their lives practically. You know, not just even individual.
No, but
change.
people go to pray for them now. That's why it's not enough.
No. Doesn't work because this applies to, and I think now I'm not just thinking individual now. I'm thinking society, changes that we need in our society. How can we evoke change in our society? How can we evoke change in our nation? How can we evoke change in institutions? And this is a formula on how we can do it.
Yeah, people are saying Nigeria is bad, it's not good, it's not. They don't know they don't know the formula of change.
That's what I'm saying. So this is like a formula of change.
Yes, it is.
So if
like I said, I have a book. Only I've not gotten to it. I've not gotten to teach, to do a seminar on this or something in English, but I have it in Russian.
Yeah, very amazing.
If you have been impressed by it greatly, I will encourage you to go. Get the book.
What's the title of the book?
Shusva, it is there in Russian language.
All right, I'll confirm that. All right, you see. Well, a big thanks to the person who asked this question. Look at what
you are getting more than you bargained.
Well, that's something with Pastor Sunday. You definitely get more than you bargain. You, especially if you want to keep pushing and pushing and pushing.
The way you push me.
You can keep pushing because you could just stop. You would not even know that. Imagine we just stopped at getting information and change your feelings. But then look at how it went from feelings then to actions. And then if we stopped at action, then that would have been it. But action has to go into momentum. If we stop at momentum, that would have been it. But momentum has to go to the point where it is now a character, and then from character to lifestyle, and then you can get your change. And then you just get a formula on how you can change anything in your life.
In society, the
country. Well, that's what we get from you. Thank you so much, Pastor.
you always ask me, Pastor, did you did you know this question was trouble? That's the thing before you used to say that.
You used to baffle me. When I started hosting the Ask Dr. Sunday show, one day I couldn't just hold it. I was just like, Pastor, is it that someone has asked you this question before and you already did your research and you wrote down the answer somewhere, and now you gave me an answer in that episode, and so now I don't ask that kind of question. I just come ready to learn and to
that any question can trigger a chain reaction. Yeah, exactly. Well, let me speak to our dear viewers who are watching us. Well, this is what you get from Dr. Sunday. Wisdom, uncommon wisdom actually. You would ask him a question and you would think, okay, he would just answer and then he stops there. But with Dr. Sunday, you ask a question and it just becomes a chain reaction from one to another, and then it leads you to a place where you never even thought about in the first place. So if you are watching us today and you have a question,
for Dr. Sunday, I would advise or suggest that you can send in your question to the comment section. If you're watching us on Facebook and on YouTube, you could send in your question by typing letter Q. Q as in question. So type letter Q and send in your question. We may not be able to answer your questions today, but I guarantee you that in subsequent episodes, we would definitely answer those questions. And this applies to both our Facebook viewers and our YouTube audience. So thank you for sending in your question. And if you've not shared this video, kindly share the video. If you're watching us and you want to ask your question incognito, you could ask your question by going to sundayadelajablog.com/ask. sundayadelajablog.com/ask. You'd see an interface there where you could send in your question, and we would be happy to get your questions and ask Dr. Sunday your questions. This is the latest book. If you've not seen it, the book is titled The Secret of Fruitfulness. The book right now is on pre-order. You could go to Amazon Kindle to get the book, The Secret of Fruitfulness. Without further ado, we'll go to the next question. All right. Dr. Sunday, what should a Christian do if they sense they are beginning to doubt the existence of God? What do you have to say about this?
If you begin to doubt, if a Christian begins to doubt the existence of God, first of all, that is a good thing.
That's a Sunday. Well, I'm going to ask you why, though. Why is it a good thing?
The reason why are you laughing? First of all, you just burst out laughing from nowhere.
No, it's just your uncommon way of, I don't know, your approach is just uncommon. I don't know.
To question answering.
Yeah, to question answering. You don't just. I mean, almost like you're unpredictable. That's how it is. And when you say what you're saying, I'm like, why are you saying? Why would you think in that manner? So that's what I'm saying. Why?
You remind me of Sufficient. You saw her, the way she used to respond.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Her question, she was okay.
Why would you say that?
She will also come back with a question like that and say,
why?
Why did you say that?
Mm-hmm.
So if you begin to doubt the existence of God, that's a good thing. And the reason it's a good thing is that at least it helps you to know that you didn't know God. At least you are able to come out of that self-delusion, making you to think that you knew God. So that doubt of God, in the existence of God, at least it has now opened your eyes to know that
I don't know this.
I don't know this God. And now we have to go to the cause why those kind of things happen.
Okay.
The reason why those kind of things will happen is because you have been taught religion, but not personal relationship with God. If you have not been taught personal relationship with God, you risk a chance of falling into this kind of predicament. Because if you don't have personal relationship with God, when things go tough and God is not answering you the way you expected, and things are not working out and you are not in that environment where everybody is, proving God or something to you or religion, it means that you have embraced religion instead of personal relationship with God. So which means that the faith that you have been given, it is either a faith that is coming from your parents, or from the environment that is cultivated around you, or from the country, or from the aura and the fantasy and this euphoria of religiosity. That is what you had embraced. You had embraced religion, but you have not embraced personal relationship with God. And so it's a good thing when you begin to doubt the existence of God, which means now the solution for you is to begin to step out, to find out for yourself how to develop personal relationship with God. And that is how you are going to be able to not just overcome the problem now, but never to come back to it again.
Wow. That's a very good way of saying it, because most times when people doubt the existence of God, the almost predictable direction that they go into is atheism.
Yes.
That's just how it is. So, like, for example, and I'm sure that might be where this person is coming from. Maybe the fear of, I don't want to go into atheism. Or maybe that's where I'm going into. Because if you begin to doubt the existence of God, that's where most people end up to. But it's very good that you're bringing this paradigm into it, that it's a very good place to start. And it's a good thing, which would bring you to the realization that you've been living a lie, thinking that you actually know this God that you're serving. But then the question or the doubt that you have about the existence of God should lead you now to a genuine search and a craving to know this God personally. And that becomes your way out of religion into that loving and intimate relationship with your Father. So that's a good thing. And I think if you're the one who asked this question and you want to know how to do this, maybe you need materials. Dr. Sunday talked about the whole process of change, that formula we talked about recently. If you just joined us, we answered that question of how to get change or how to get results. And Dr. Sunday says it starts with your sense organs and then information. So let me give you the information part. How can you get an information or get the information on how to know God and how to build a personal relationship with God? If you go to Dr. Sunday Adelaja on YouTube, I want you to go and click on playlist. Go click on playlist. Search for the titles that has to do with how to know God. How to know God. So the first one you would see most likely is how to know God through love. Okay, so that's one playlist, how to know God through love. The second one that you would see later is how to know God and be a friend of God. That's a whole playlist. Then there's how to know God through the Holy Spirit, and then there's how to know God through the Bible, and how to know God through the church. So can you see 5 series? Believe me, it's impossible for you to go through
Even one,
and you wouldn't say that you have come to know and to build a relationship with God. So I want to give you those 5 series. Soak yourself in them and don't jump from one video to another video, from one playlist to another playlist. No, just any of the 5 that you think catches your attention, either it is through love or through the Bible or through the church or how to know God and be a friend of God. Just anyone. Make sure you start from the first video to the last video in that playlist. Then write us and tell us your experience. We would definitely love to hear a feedback from you. Dr. Sunday, thank you for your answer on that. All right, so we'll go to the next question that we have on our slide, because I know that we still have more questions and our time is fast running. Okay, so let's see the next question. Okay, what do you think should be done about the Nigerian celebrity called Bobrisky? And what would you advise the government to do about his cross-dressing, transgender, and gay behavior? Dr. Sunday, have you heard of Bobrisky?
Yes, I've been hearing about him and I've been seeing the picture. I thought it's a woman.
He's actually a man.
Yeah, but I had the discussion that he's a man. So what do I think should be done about him? I think he should be arrested and jailed, because there is a law in Nigeria that prohibits homosexual, relationship. And I just wonder why the government is not responding. Well, what I would advise the civil organizations to do is that everybody needs to begin to campaign. We need to raise a campaign and organize and mobilize the nation to, raise their voice and do something about it. Nigerians are too passive and they are too docile and they are too indifferent. They are expecting the government to do everything for them. I don't think this is something the government has to do. This is something that civil societies have to pick up. And until they get results, they shouldn't stop.
Yeah, concerning Bobrisky, I've heard of people make this response that you gave, but on his defense, people say that he says he's not an homosexual, he's not gay, but he's just a cross-dresser.
Yeah, but what he's doing is propagating gay lifestyle, which is even worse. For example, in Russia, you are not prohibited to be a gay. You can be a gay if you want.
Okay.
But you cannot propagate. But his own lifestyle is worse than being a gay.
By being a cross-dresser.
But even than being a gay. Mm-hmm. Just the way he's behaving, the way he's dressing, and what he's propagating is worse than being a gay. Even though he's a gay for sure.
But
because I know people who he sleeps with and people who have slept with him, who have claimed to have done that. I don't know that it has happened, but that's what people say. Politicians and people, that's why they are not arresting him.
So you think that's...
So I know that people talk about politicians that he's been having a relationship with. So who is going to buy to the lie that he's just a cross-dresser? I mean, he's just trying to brainwash you and you buy into that. Who buys into that? That's rubbish. So it cannot be that is who you are. It is from the abundance of your heart, of your who you are, that you behave. So it's still about the cause and effect that we say. You cannot be behaving and projecting what you are projecting if that is not who you are. It is your content. As a man thinks, so he is. So the way he is behaving is now the demonstration. It's not just the action, but it's now the momentum. It's not just the momentum, it has gone to character. It has not just character, it has gone to lifestyle.
Yeah, it's already a lifestyle.
And you want to tell me that, he's just telling you some stories. His stories for the fools. So that is who he is. But what he is doing, for me, if he had been a gay, I wouldn't have prosecuted him.
Okay. So you wouldn't say that he should be locked up?
No. For being a gay, I won't say he should be locked up.
Although because there's a law in Nigeria that should lock.
So I would not lock him up because he's a gay.
Okay. So you lock him up
because it propagates a lifestyle. Can you imagine that what he is doing now, the way he's dressing and the way he's behaving, children are seeing it.
Yeah, there are younger people who are actually
and people will be copying him very soon. All the teenagers, he's going to become their heroes. So he's propagating a lifestyle, he's damaging the whole foundation of the society. If he wants to be a gay, let him be a gay, JJ, on his own. But why should you propagate? And he's become a celebrity.
Yeah, he's actually that's how the person puts it.
So if he has become a celebrity, that means he's changing the subconsciousness of the whole nation. That means that he's superimposing his lifestyle upon the whole culture and the mindset and subconsciousness of a whole nation, 200 million people, and you are risking that. Those people in the National Assembly, either they are blind, or they are dull, or they are foolish, or they are what they call it, they are compromised. Or they are compromised one way or the other. And the president, I wonder why he's not even saying anything about that. Because he's afraid that people will say he's a dictator. So these are irresponsible attitude of the power, but I would not even say power. Let's leave the government alone. People will say, oh, it's what people want. What people want is what they give them. I said, let people arise. What are pastors? Are there no pastors in that country?
I was going to ask you.
Are there no churches in that country? Are they blind? Are there no Muslim clerics? Because the guy used to claim to be a Muslim before. Now he's claiming to be a Christian. Where are the clergy of the land? Where is the pulpit of the land? If I had been in that country, I alone am capable of dealing with him. Because I've dealt with similar people here. I alone would have dealt with that guy. Not single-handedly. I just know what to do. I have my strategy. I would have put system in place. It would have been removed.
Because it's on the mainstream
Yes.
media.
So it's a shame that Nigerian believers and even Nigerian civil society people and Nigerian elite are sitting down there and they are coming to rubbish and to rub mess in their face. That's what he's doing. That guy is rubbing, excreta, rubbish in their faces, in the faces of our own nation.
That's one of the things that we have in Nigeria. A lot of people want to mind their business.
That is irresponsibility.
They don't want to rock.
You say, why is that my book? Plague of
silence.
Plague of Silence. Show us the book. Seredine Mejunami, Pastor. Plague of Silence. That they should, what do you call it, mind
their business. They don't want to rock the boats and things like that.
But the other guy is rocking your own boat. He's rocking the boat of your own children's life. He's rocking the boat of your own family. He's rocking the boat of your mind. He's rocking the boat of the foundation of your whole society. So you don't want to rock the boat. You just sit down. Beat me or anything you want, make you do. I don't want to rock the boat. Make you touch me. No, I'm not. I say if you want to go and sin, let him sin. We have freedom. Okay. But not propagate it to affect me. Your freedom should not affect my own freedom. Your freedom shouldn't stop me from, being sane in my own country. Even in America, that thing is not going to be allowed like this. If America is the most liberal country in the world, but you will not have somebody in the mainstream like this that is behaving like that. Somebody, we will have had protests everywhere.
Yeah, because we have people who are gay, but they just know that they are
maybe they do once a year their parade or something. But to be on the mainstream and celebrity of the country like this and to be openly like that, no. You will not be welcomed. Not even in the West. And Nigeria that is prohibiting this thing is now allowing it to happen to that level. It's just like somebody has bewitched the whole country. It's just like taking witchcraft and has covered their ears, including the pastor's ears. Eyes. This is not minding your business. This is what they are doing. They have been plagued. All the people who are silent about Bobrovsky in Nigeria, they have been plagued. If anybody is silent about Bobrovsky, they have been plagued by the plague of silence. They are under a plague. They have been bewitched. And the witchcraft that is bewitched them, the curse that is upon them, is called a plague of silence. There is a plague upon every pastor, every church, every government, every president, upon president, vice president sitting down there while you are pastors and you are thinking that is civil liberty. No, you have been plagued. The president has been plagued, the vice president has been plagued, the National Assembly has been plagued because of that Bobrovsky. That Bobrovsky has plagued you all. Or maybe you have his friends that are sleeping with him, or that are, whatever doing, that are allowing him. There is a plague upon you all. And I will advise you to go and read this book and remove the plague, to learn how to remove the plague from your mind and your consciousness. It's a shame on the whole country.
Wow. Well, that's a big challenge right there.
It takes just one day to close that guy down.
Wow.
One day to shut him down forever or lock him up forever. You are allowing somebody to lock up one Kemi Oluloyo, the journalist. You are allowing a country where you allow somebody to lock up a journalist. You cannot lock up Bobrovsky. There is the Suleiman's girlfriend. What's the name of or alleged girlfriend? Otobo. You are allowing somebody to lock up Otobo, but you are not. Nobody can lock up this one. No, it's a country that has lost direction. We have lost our value. We have lost our direction. We have lost our consciousness. We have lost our conscience. We are totally in a mess. I think Joshua has to release this about this Bobrisky guy. We have to do a special release on this video.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, Dr. Sunday, thank you for that answer. And I think this is a big challenge to the whole Nigerian populace, not just the government, but even civil societies. It's a big challenge to churches, to religious institutions, for us to have this kind of atrocity, someone propagating this false lifestyle. Dr. Sode said this is not just someone trying to exercise his human rights, but this is someone who is affecting the very foundation of our society, superimposing this wrong lifestyle into the subconsciousness of the whole society and the nation. And I think it is definitely something that we must address with a sense of urgency. All right, so I want to give opportunity at this point to viewers who are watching us right now, who would like to call, who would like to contribute or ask their questions. So you could go right now to Facebook Messenger. You could search for Move Agent on Facebook Messenger, and write to us that you would like to call in, and would be happy to receive your calls. So Facebook Messenger, Move Agent Madik, and write to us. We'll definitely be happy to hear from you. Okay, so while we anticipate callers, we'd like to go to the next question. All right. So the embassy of the blessed kingdom of God for all nations, as we know it now, was once Word of Faith Church. The change of name happened in 2002.
Yes.
My questions are, number one, what inspired the change? Shall I read all the questions?
No, let's take one by one.
Okay, yeah. So what inspired the change?
Yes, you are very right. Whoever asked the question, the reason why we changed the name of the church, first of all, was because of the progression in revelation and understanding of God. When we started the church, my own level of knowledge of God was to the level of building a good church, a big church, and using God to do it. Using the word of God, faith, to bring about results. So it's about more of using God rather than representing God. So that was the knowledge of God that I had, because at that point, and when we started the church, I was reading a lot of books from people like Kenneth Hagin, because I was inspired by Kenneth Hagin Sr. When I was 19 years old and I came to Russia, I wrote to many men of God, including Nigerians. Nobody replied. But the only person who replied me was an American. His name was Kenneth Hagin Sr. And he has encouraged me a lot when I was here. So he was sending his books. I read almost all his books. If I've not read all his books, maybe there will be less than 10 that I've not read. I think I've read over 70 of his books. So, and I was, reading the book of people like Kenneth Hagin and Kenneth Copeland and things like that. And so that's a movement called Word of Faith. Before I started growing more, and the more I grew, the more I discovered that I've been led astray. And Word of Faith is an error. Word of Faith gospel is an error. Word of Faith doctrine is an error. Word Faith health, prosperity that they preach is an error. So, but I know that there is a lot of truth in their doctrine as well. But I still didn't change the name. Even after I discovered that, I still didn't change the name of the church, because I was thinking we are different. But then I was flying to Australia one time. That is, I wrote the story in the beginning of my book, Church Shift. So I had very powerful encounter with the Lord on the plane, because when you fly to Australia, it's like 18 hours or 28 hours flight. So, and then I went to New Zealand, and so I was really like a solitude in a confined environment that God was speaking to me. And that is when God opened my eyes about the kingdom message. That's when I began to understand the kingdom message. I started studying about the kingdom. And so by the time we had the 8th anniversary in 2008, God in the plane, that plane that was flying, gave me specifically that name, the Embassy of the Blessed Kingdom of God for all nations. There is a meaning for every one of those words.
Wow. So would you say that the word of faith that the word of faith that you had before, was it also an inspiration?
Is it inspiration you call it?
An
influence.
Okay.
It was an influence. I was encouraged. I was, it's just like I imparted you now.
Yeah.
And you name your child Sunday. I have one pastor in my church that because I inspired him so much. He came to the Lord through me. I became whoever he is. So his name is Church Sunday. I mean, the Child Sunday. And after some time, when he grew up and became a big man himself, he left the church. I said, "So what will you do with your child now?"
You name
Sunday. So, but because it's just it's not. I don't think it's inspiration.
It's more of influence.
Yeah. So I was influenced by word of faith movement, like I just said.
Yeah. So more, but the embassy of the blessed,
that was supernatural.
Wow.
Even can you imagine the kind of name? Embassy of God is easier to just say, okay, but the full name of it, if you see the embassy of the blessed, that's why, embassy means, okay, because before I didn't know that the church is supposed to actually not be representing its own interests here on earth. I used to think that the church is here to, just function, not like every other person is function. But I got to know that no, church is actually not here for people or for yourself, for your own interest. Church is not just a means of making it in life. Church is not just a platform for you to build whatever you want to do, like a business. Because that's what everybody is doing.
Yeah.
Church is just my own ministry, my own, my own platform, my own thing. It's not just like registering, with CAC, your own organization. That I have my own company now.
Yeah.
So this is the way. I didn't know. I never thought about that.
Wow.
But this is when God now taught me and said that no, the church actually, all churches, every church in the world is meant to be God's embassy. God's representative, a headquarter for God. It is supposed to be directed from heaven. The affairs of the church is supposed to be under the dictate of heaven, not under the dictate of the man, no. Not under the dictate of the man, but even the man himself is supposed to be an ambassador. So everything about church and the ministers there and everybody is supposed to be connected to God and being dictated under God.
Yeah.
Just like American embassy here now is not representing Nigeria, it's not representing Ukraine. Is representing American embassy, and they only speak for American embassy, no other interest. All their engagements, all their activities have to just be about America and promoting and advancing the cause of America. So I got it. So that is the embassy of the blessed. I also got it because before we just were doing church, not like most people were doing it, to make sure that people come for blessings, come for miracle, come for healing, come for, this. Yeah. As if we have to now you have to fast and pray and wind up, stir up God to move and, do miracle and, 7 days fasting, also fasting for blessing to be coming. Yeah. You have to do something for wind up God to make sure He sends something down. But I discovered that no, I'm not supposed to be blessed. I am already blessed. Nobody is supposed to be blessed. I don't go to church to be blessed. I don't go to pastor to bless me.
I'm already blessed.
That's when God revealed to me that no, all of us are already blessed. If you are an unbeliever, you're already blessed. But if you are in Christ Jesus, you are double blessed. Because when God created man in His own image in Genesis chapter 1 verse 27 and 28, He said He created them male and female, male and female He created them, and He blessed them. Blessed. I am not going to be blessed. I'm already blessed. I don't have generational curse. I am generationally blessed. No curse for generation, but blessed for generation. Embassy
of the blessed.
We are already blessed people. We are now the ones who carry the blessings from this place where we are
to all nations,
to the world, to the society, to all spheres of life, and to all nations. That's why Jesus said, "Go ye therefore." Why? With the blessing you already carry.
Wow. That's just from the word blessed.
You want me to continue?
It will be great.
Yeah. If I don't finish with time, you think?
Yeah, but because you see how the embassy of the blessed kingdom for all nations.
Yes. So the embassy of the blessed kingdom for all nations. So there are two things here. The blessing that I refer to is not just that we are blessed, but it's also that we represent. We are also blessed, not just because God blessed us, but also because we represent a blessed kingdom. We are representing. We are ambassadors. We are embassy of this kingdom that is full of blessing. Of the kingdom that is only having blessing, not curses.
No curses. Wow.
But if you go to churches today and go to deliverance service,
They're releasing curses.
you think that church is a curse center.
Kingdom of curses.
Kingdom of curses. But this is blessed. You've never had me analyze it?
You've not analyzed it before.
And you've never really thought about it seriously.
Well, I know there's something serious about the name, but you've not done it like this in this fashion.
So of the blessed kingdom, because the kingdom of God we all represent,
is blessed.
We can only carry blessing. The thing that comes from there is only blessing. That's why I say, let thy kingdom come. Because this is where we have trouble. It is blessing that comes from the kingdom. Let thy kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. So the old desire, everything we want in this world, we want blessing, we want to be blessed, is coming from there. Because the kingdom is a blessed kingdom. So when we are saying that we are preaching or we want everything you have, you desire is in the kingdom because it's a blessed kingdom. You desire health, if you find the kingdom, you will find blessing. You will find health. You desire blessing, find the kingdom, you will discover blessing. You want prosperity, find the kingdom, you will find prosperity. You want development, find the kingdom, development you will discover. You want civilization, find the kingdom, civilization will discover you. You want provision, find the kingdom.
So the kingdom is the answer
for everything. The kingdom is the absolute solution, absolute answer to man's absolute need. It's a blessed kingdom. Not church.
No. But kingdom.
See, there's no church in our name.
No, there's no church.
Blessed kingdom of God. But for who?
For all nations.
For all nations.
Wow. Amazing. I'm thinking of all those churches. When we begin to see the names of churches in Nigeria, it's obvious that they don't have this kind of revelation and experience that you have, because you see some names that you think, how did this name come up? There's definitely no revelation. But imagine every
whole book about this.
About this
thing I just explained now. This church, our church name.
Wow, a whole book.
Yes, in Russian language.
What possible don't you have a book of?
It's called God's Ambassadors.
God's Ambassadors. Wow.
But not just talking about the embassy of God's church, but
the whole essence of
church,
of the body of Christ. Wow. Well, what more can I say? Do we have callers? Okay. Based on the information I just received.
I think you said that question had many questions on that.
I'm just thinking of our time.
Okay.
So maybe we can continue from this in the subsequent, or should we finish it?
I think we have to finish it.
Okay,
but if you have callers, let's get callers too.
But I heard there are no callers.
Okay,
so maybe we can finish it.
Yeah.
So that's the first one. What inspired the change? Then second question is, what is the key lesson and message the change brought to bear that we can learn from? I think you already answered.
I think we already answered.
Good. Is the change an evidence of the transition from the gospel of salvation to the gospel of the kingdom?
I already answered. So thank God we read it.
So I think I read it. So you dealt with all of them. Wow.
And the person who is writing the letter to is a
thinking person.
A thinking person, a smart guy.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if it is that Toby.
Well, it's definitely, it might be him though.
I suspect that much.
Yeah, it might be him. Because he's the one that talked about him studying
the embassy of
God Church. Wow.
If it's not Toby, it will be Alfred.
Wow. Amazing. Well, dear viewers, that's what we have.
You mean you don't have callers?
I had there are no callers.
Okay. No callers. What about the book? Can you talk about the book a bit before?
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about this book. This book is titled "Why Am I Unlucky?" You see the man right there, just saying, "Why is it always me? Why is it always me?" Well, this book would definitely change your paradigm. You will realize that what you are defining as unlucky. I read the book myself. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. You discover that, well, maybe it's not a question of why you're unlucky, but it's a question of your worldview, how you're seeing what you're seeing. What you might be defining as
The second title for the book, though, is Why is Life Unfair?
Why is Life Unfair? Yes, Why is Life Unfair? You realize the book is an interesting book. It will deliver you from victim mindset. Yeah, from victim mentality. So please do well to get this book. This book is actually free on Amazon Kindle Unlimited. So you can get the book for free there, or you could order the book on Amazon, or you could order the book.
I'm surprised that there are no callers, though.
Well,
maybe nobody is watching today.
I guess maybe we'll have a few people
that
are watching. All right, so get the book also.
What about my latest release?
Yeah, the latest release is the book, The Secret of Fruitfulness. The Secret of Fruitfulness. You know, Pastor Sunday wrote there that fruits are mark of your success. Well, this is a book that
Jesus said it now.
Yeah, by your fruits we will know you.
Yeah.
Will know them. Pastor, I was about to say that this book is the blueprint on how to leave a legacy here, because you can do so much, but you know
no success without a success.
No success without a success.
So that's it is the mark.
Yeah.
Of your success.
Of your success.
Your true success.
Yeah. So you want to get this book. This book right now is on pre-order for just 1 week. So you could go to Amazon Kindle, search for the book, The Secret of Fruitfulness by Dr. Sunday Adelaja, and you can make your pre-order. Thank you for being with us today on the Ask Dr. Sunday show. It was a great time. We answered a lot of questions and new revelations, new understanding. If you just joined us, I would like you to share this video right now and go back to the beginning, because Dr. Sunday gave what I would define as the formula for change.
There are a lot of things that could be released
from this.
Yeah,
thing. Also the Bobrisky
and even the Embassy of God.
Embassy of God question. So a lot of interest.
So you have to engage our brother
Joshua. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Yeah. So thank you for being with us. My name is Anu Ojo, and Dr. Sunday will be giving the final words. Over to you.
It was nice being with you guys. Thank you so much for watching us today, if you did. If not, maybe you'll watch us in the future. And look forward to, to seeing you tonight. I will be back again tonight. And that will be an interesting conversation tonight. So see you guys. Peace.